All right, we're going to go over the semester exam. Your semester exam consists of several different parts that are going to get all put together to create your one grade. If you'll notice, it says 150 points total equals 100 for your semester exam grade. Now, I know that it might not seem logical to you to have to get 150 points to make 100, but that also makes each thing count less off if you make a mistake or don't do something. All right, your Padlet is the first thing here. It says read the instructions on the Padlet. There are two questions. If you're in digital interactive media, you answer the digital interactive media question. If you're in interpersonal relationships, you answer this question. There is a link to the Padlet right here, but I already have it pulled up. So let's go there and see what it looks like. All right. It says, write a 1 to 3 sentence reflection answering the question that goes with your class. If you are in both classes, I have about 4 students that take both classes, you must write both reflections on separate notes. For digital interactive media, your question is, why is it important to learn digital media skills? For interpersonal relationships, it's why should I learn interpersonal relationship skills? Include your first name, last initial, and class period in the title portion. Write the reflection in your Write Something section. You do not have to write the question, just write your reflection. Any questions on this part of the exam? Okay, let's go to the next thing. There are some end of the year reflection sentences right here. It says you can compose your sentences on this document. You will need to copy and paste them to your PowerPoint slide you will create after this, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Do not email this to me. You will get credit for this part when you send me the PowerPoint slide. And again, we'll talk about that in a moment. You have 4 questions here, or 4 sentence starters. They're not really questions. The first one is, one important or useful thing I learned in class this year is, and that is a sentence that I want you to answer specific to this class. The other 3 are things that you can answer in general about your 8th grade year. My best moment of this year was, a turning point for me this year was, and a turning point is a time when something took place that you had to make a significant change or even a minor change. So a turning point, if you turn, you make a change in direction. So a turning point is a change in direction in what you're doing or how you're doing something. And the last one, now that I know blah, 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 I will blah, blah, blah. So finish that sentence out. And only one sentence. Don't write a novel about these, just one sentence. Any question on that part before we move on to the PowerPoint? Okay. PowerPoint. You're going to create one slide with your first name, your blended photo. Your blended photo is when you took your photograph and you put it in iPicky and you blended your favorite quote over it using the layers. You should still have that saved somewhere. If you don't, you can recreate it. But it's a blended photograph, and I want that on your slide. Your end of the year reflection sentences. And instead of a whole list of 30 things about you, I want 5 things about you that you think is really important that I remember about you. And then you're going to email that PowerPoint to me when you're done, just the PowerPoint. And your subject line should read specifically Spring 2017 Semester Exam PowerPoint P1 or 2 or whatever your class period is. Don't use the quotation marks. Also on your slide, make sure you put your Prezi link to your 30 things about me, because we'll be able to access that from your slide and also from where we're going to move it to. It all has to fit on one slide. Only one. So you're going to have to be creative about how you set up that slide and make sure that you get everything on there. When you're done with that slide, after you save it as a PowerPoint and turn that in, you're going to save it again a second time. And when you use PowerPoint, there is a way, let's call something up here so you can see it. PowerPoint, let's just look.
PP agenda.
No. let's go here. You do realize this is recording, right? Thanks for that. Yeah. All right. Why is it going in there? Okay, we don't want in there. Let's look at, let's just find something. Okay, let's look at this one. Oh, this is a really cool one. Well, maybe not. Let's try one up here. No, I want this PowerPoint down here. There we go. Okay, let's look at this one. Alright, on these like this, you can save your PowerPoint by going to File and Save As. This is when you're doing it on your machine, not online. Online, you just have to rename it. Now, to do it this way, you might need to download it to your computer first. But when you have it on your computer, you can do a File, Save As, and I'm going to put it on my desktop. Now, see this down here, Save As Type? You're going to click this drop-down box, and you're going to find JPEG right there, because you want to save this as an image. Your slide, what?
In the browser one, you can, like when you download it, it gives you a choice to download as a PDF or JPEG.
Okay, cool, because what you need is the JPEG image, because that JPEG is what you're going to be able to use to upload to your magazine page that we'll talk about in a minute. Alright, so if you're doing it on your computer, this is the way I do it. You've got JPEG right here. You click Save, and it's going to ask you which slides do you want to export. All of them are just this one. And since you only have one, you can click just this one, and it'll just save the image. But if I wanted to save this whole thing as a JPEG, I could click All Slides right here. Now, I'm not going to do this because I've already saved this. This was for another presentation, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Are there any questions about how to save it as a JPEG? Alright, let's close that. Now, after you create your PowerPoint and your JPEG, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to move on to Jillster. You're going to edit one page. You will receive an invite. You already have those. I sent those invites out to you in the DIM and Interpersonal Relationships Spring Magazine by uploading the PowerPoint JPEG image to the page. So you're going to take your page, you're going to upload your JPEG image, and you're going to put it on that page. Give your page a background, and if you want to add anything else to the page, you can. When you are done uploading your image and putting your background on the page and making it look like you want it to look, you're going to publish your page. Alright, now if I go back and look at it like I did about 2 or 3 last night, there were some pages up, they hadn't really followed instructions and they had already published, so I released the page back to them and said, hey, you need to go back and you need to do what I told you to do in the instruction. So now if you publish it and I see that you didn't follow the guidelines, I'll release the page back to you and say, hey, you need to go fix some things. Let's see. Let's go to Jillster real quick. Show you what it looks like. Alright, here's the magazine right here. Again, I have all of these people over here have already accepted their invitations. Most of you guys in here have. But I got a bunch of invitations down here that haven't been accepted, and I sent out a reminder last night. And like this page right here didn't exactly follow the guidelines. So, and this one had already been published, and really all they did was stick my graphic on there that was already there. So, I released the page back to it and said, you need to reread the instructions and try again. Alright, but we've got a cover for it now. Doesn't it look nice? All these hands right here, I did my Interpersonal Relationships class. That's all the hands from that class. And then we did it in front of the green screen, and then I dumped the globe behind it. And then we got the back cover right here. I thought that was really colorful. All right, any questions about how to take care of your page in the magazine? Remember, if you have an account already and you're accepting your invitation, you just click on the link that says, I'm accepting my invitation and I have an account. If you don't, there's another link that says, I need to set up account. so I can accept my invitation. All right, next thing. All right, and that's where I told you to stop yesterday. Today we're going to move on to the next sections. All right, there is another Padlet that you're going to take care of. It says, upload one quote or image to the Padlet that illustrates cyberbullying, its effects, or how to stop it. And there are instructions on the Padlet, and here's the link right here. I'm going to go ahead and look at that Padlet because someone worked ahead yesterday and put some things on there, which is fine. I would prefer that you guys waited until I gave you instructions like today, so today you can move on and do whatever. I asked for first name, last initial, class period, and then put your quote on here. And what I did was say in the write something section, complete the sentence, cyberbullying is, and then just add one word. So this one right here did it absolutely perfect. Here's their graphic, here's their name, and then they wrote their sentence, cyberbullying is abuse. Okay, just one word. You only have to write 3-word sentence there. Does everybody understand that? Definitely don't want a novel on this one. All right. After that, I'm going to have you do another typing test in typing.com because those typing tests, where is typing.com? Right here. All right, let me teacher log in real quick like. We need Jeopardy music right here because it's taking forever. Okay. All right, remember, well, mine doesn't look the same as yours, but across the top up here you have some tabs, and you need to make sure after you log in using CISD and your number, and your password is 12345. There are tabs across the top. You find the one that says test, and I want you to do a 3-minute test. That will only take a maximum of 5 minutes of your time, and it will give you not only 10 points on your semester, towards your semester exam, but it's going to give you 2 extra test grades that are most of the time A's, and that will help to bring up your test averages, so you're going to want to do this part because I'll make it count for 2 more test grades. You've already done one this 6 weeks, but I'll have you do another one, and I'll give you 10 points toward your semester exam. Any questions on that? All right. GoAnimate. You guys just got through doing that on your animation project. I have not finished grading those yet, but I will start looking at them, and you guys are going to do a self-evaluation on that as well, but I'll get that out. For GoAnimate, you're going to create a short video, and this is each person individually that will have to do this. So you may have to share if you worked with a group, you might need to share your account and want each one of you at a different time go on there and make your video. And I mean very short. Telling upcoming 7th and 8th graders about something important that you learned and that you think is important to pass on to them in order for them to be successful. So don't sit there and lecture them like what happened yesterday in our thing. We're not even going to go there. We're not going to talk about that. But I want you to tell them just one thing that they need to know to be successful this year. It could be something as simple as, when you come to school, don't try to be somebody else, be yourself. But make a GoAnimate using the voices and maybe even a little scene or something going on. You could even dramatize the scene and show, an interaction between 2 people or whatever. Or it could be something like, be sure to make sure that you get all of your assignments turned in on time. Make a commitment to that, but just give them like a maximum of 3 tips. Don't give any more than that. All right, does that make sense? Yeah, just look at it this way. What would you have wanted to know when you walked in here from either 6th grade coming up or 7th grade coming up to 8th grade? What is something that you really wish somebody would have told you, and then you tell them? Does that make sense? Make it a little easier? All right. Put yourself in that place. Make sure you include your name and class period on the title slide. Now remember, if you were working with a group, you all have the same login, but you can't all three be logged in at the same time, so you're going to have to divide the time. All right. Any questions on GoAnimate?
No.
All right. Your digital portfolio, we're going to work on that together the day that you come in here for your review time. I'm going to help you make sure that you get that put up. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that in some folder or on some document, you have a link to your 30 Things About Me. You have copies of your self-portrait project and your choice project. I will show you how to put a link to your cyberbullying magazine on it and your animation project. There's ways that you can put links to both of those. I'll show you how to do those. And then any other files or projects that you would like to share. So I'm going to tell you to start making a folder of anything that's a file that you want to put in there, like maybe your blended photo and stuff. You know, that's a really good thing to put on your digital portfolio. And your links and things like that, copy the links that you know, like your Prezi link. Anything that you think you'd like to share on there, like journal entries or reflections, whatever, anything like that you want to share, put it in a folder so that we'll be able to, the day that we go over your digital portfolio, it'll be really quick and easy for you to upload those things to your digital portfolio on Weebly. All right, questions about that part? I know some of you may not have a Weebly account. If you don't, you should set that up, and you should at least have the account ready to roll whenever we come in here to do this. That way we don't have to set up accounts. All right. Recap. We used recap a little bit at the beginning. I would have liked to have used it more, but it didn't work out. So we're going to use it for a recap for your spring semester exam. You're going to go to, if you go to letsrecap.com/student, you can either log in there or you can create an account there. The class code is right here so that you can get into the correct class. And then after you log in, you're going to complete this recap. And it is right here. Dim Spring. All right. It's right here. It says Spring 2017 Semester Exam Recap. Remember that you will, I can't play it on my screen, but you're just going to click that you're ready to do the assignment. Read the question. Plan what you want to say. Click record. You'll have to do this on a laptop. If you're working on one of the desktop computers, you can't do recap there. But you can also do it on your phone. So you can do it on one of these laptops that has the webcam, or use your phone, either one. All right, are there questions on recap? I see a puzzled look.
Puzzle boys?
All right. All right. That probably because you never set up your account. So you need to follow the instructions right here. Where are they? Go to letsrecap.com/student on your Google Chrome browser, set up your account, put in the class code, and then you'll be able to see it. Okay? Earlier in the semester. All right. We'll get you set up. Any other questions on recap? All right, we are getting there. All right, there is a Nearpod Reflection. Just one of them. So let's go to Nearpod and Reflections. All right, you have this one right here. I'll show you a little bit of a live lesson of it. And we don't need that right now. I actually sent you codes on there for student paste. All right, it says Spring 2017 Semester Exam Reflection. I don't know what this is on here. I'll have to take that off. I think it's a watermark. All right. You're going to read this quote. It says, "Move on. It's just a chapter in the past, but don't close the book. Just turn the page." And then you're going to write a 5 to 10 sentence reflection about the attached quote. Remember to click send when you finish. You have to click send each time. Otherwise, it won't record your response. What do you want the next chapter of your life to look like? Draw it. Make sure you click send when you are finished with your drawing. Okay? It's really important that you do that. And yes. So, are there any questions about your Nearpod? Here are your codes right here. First period, second period, third period, and seventh period use this code. Fourth period will use this one, and sixth period will use this one. And I divided it by classes because of the number of people that I'm allowed to respond to each one. So make sure you're using the right code. All right, down here we have a survey. And I'm going to go to this survey. It's not going to let me do it that way. My computer has issues with me clicking on links sometimes. So I'm going to go there. I right click and I'm going to paste it. All right. There's something to read about it. This is a survey that I send out at the end of my class, because I want to know what things were useful to you and what things were difficult and what things you really enjoyed and things like that, because I use that information to make it better for the next class. Believe it or not, this is probably the, let's see, 2, 4. This is the 6th time I've done this class, and it's gotten progressively better each time. And next year, I get to have it for a whole year, not just a semester. So I really need some good feedback. And all you have to do is complete this survey. I do need you to put your email in there, your school email. Use your school ID at crowleyisdtx.me. I need that in there so that I can tell you did this. That's the main reason I need it. Now, your answers are pretty much anonymous because I don't really go in and look and see who wrote what, but I do need to know that you completed it in order to give you the 10 points on your exam. You will just answer some, oh, it's going to make me do that. Anyway, you'll just answer the questions that are on here. There's a place near the end where if you want me to talk to you about some of the things in here, there's a place you can say, hey, I really want to talk to you about some of this stuff. And you can click that box or whatever. But other than that, and when you're done with it, and it says thank you for submitting your survey or whatever, that's all you have to do, because I'll be able to go and I'll be able to look and see, okay, this many people completed it, here's their ID numbers, so I can check them off on the point sheet. So any questions on that part? Pretty self-explanatory. All right. Lastly, this is the part that you're going to do in class on the day of your exam. There are some vocabulary terms that are related to digital interactive media concepts, so you need to kind of be familiar with what these things are. For example, panning down here has nothing to do with panning for gold. All right? You need to look it up in relation to digital media or audio video terms. You need to know what that means. Okay? There's 20 of them, I believe. Maybe 25. No, 20. There's 20. So you can have time before you come in here for the exam to do that. Now remember, this is digital interactive media. I expect you to interact with your digital media. If you get in here on the day of the exam and you don't know the answer, guess what? You can Google it. You can look it up. Interact with your digital media. Part of what you're supposed to learn in here is how to search for things, because you're going to go search for a definition for panning and it's going to talk about panning for gold and you're going to, wait a minute, that's not it. So wait, I need to know what panning is in relationship to digital media. All right, so you have to know how to search for those things too. That's important to know. Are there any questions on that part? All right, some of you, not necessarily in this group right here right now, some of you are also taking interpersonal relationships. The majority of the exam is the same. Let me open that up. Where is it at? Let's see. Where is my other exam? Oh, I know where it is. It's in my documents. Saved it in the wrong place. No, it is not there. Alright, let's pause this just a Okay, now that I found the file, this one is pretty much the same except for the part here at the bottom where it has vocabulary and concepts. And this is for the Interpersonal Relationships class. And for this class, I have created a study guide for you on Quizlet so that you can go in and you can study these terms. Right? You can do flashcards, you can learn, you can have it spell out loud for you, you can take a test on it, there are some games that you can play, but you can just start going through. Here's a flashcard situation in which a person is expected to play 2 incompatible roles, and if you don't know what that is, you can click it, and that would be role conflict. Alright, so we have Quizlet if you need that to study for the Interpersonal Relationships section on vocabulary. Any questions? Alright, then I am going to turn you guys loose to get to work and get this done.
But this.